Hello everyone, welcome to Innovatex Hub. We will learn, build and innovate through technologies. If you have never written a single line of code before, don't worry, this tutorial is specifically designed for you. Have you ever wondered how websites like Google, YouTube, Facebook or Amazon are created? What technology are used to build the web page? And where every web developer starts their journey? The answer is HTML. So HTML is the very first technology that allows almost every web developer to learn. It is the foundation of web development and the starting point for creating the website. In today's lesson, I will guide you step by step in every simple way. By the end of this video, you will understand what is HTML, why HTML is important, how web page work, the basic structure of HTML document, some common HTML tags, and you will even create your very first web page. Remember, you do not need any programming experience to follow this lesson. All you need is curiosity and willingness to learn. So, grab your notebook, open your mind, and let's begin our journey into web development with HTML for beginners. Welcome once again. Before we write any code, let's first understand what is HTML and why it matters. Every website you have ever visited is built using HTML. Whether it is YouTube, Google, Facebook, or Amazon, HTML is always involved. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the standard language used to build web pages. Its main job is to tell the browser what content should appear on the page and how that content is organized. Now, why should you learn HTML? First, HTML is the foundation of every website. Every website, it is built with HTML. Second, you do not need any coding experience to start learning it. To learn HTML, it doesn't depend or require pre-skills of coding or programming. What you just need to have it is the courage. If you have courage and ambition to the programming and web development, this is your place. And third, learning HTML opened the door to web development. Once you understand HTML, you can continue learning technologies like CSS and JavaScript. Think of HTML as the first brick you place when building a house. Let's now talk about the basics of HTML. So, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is not a programming language, it is a markup language. That is why it is used to define the structure of the website. That is why you call it the markup language, not a programming language. Programming language depends on logic, while markup language defines the structure. So, first we have is the hypertext. What is hypertext? So hypertext refers to the text that can connect you to other pages through links. For example, when you click a link on a web page and move to another page, that is hypertext in action. Next we have markup. If you understand the hypertext as the text connects you to other page via the link, you have to know what is markup. So markup means using tags to label different parts of web page. Means you need to label the tag. used to define different or to labels to name different part of a web page. For example, we use one tag for heading and the other tag for paragraph. So in a few words, markup is used to define the element that will be displayed on the web page. Finally, we have language. Language means HTML as a set of rules that browser understand and flow. In simple terms, HTML is like a skeleton of human body. A skeleton gives structure to the body. Similarly, HTML gives structure to web page by organizing its content. Means the structure of the web page. It is defined by HTML. That is definition of HTML. Let's now understand why HTML is important. Why do we need the HTML? Why do we need to learn it? So, HTML power every website. As we talked before, HTML is the foundation of a website. Every web page on the internet starts with HTML. Second, HTML defines the structure of the web page. For example, heading, paragraph, image, button, link, forms, tables, and so on. All are organized using HTML. Third, HTML is the first step in web development. If you have willing to start the journey of web development, you have to start follow HTML. And this is the first lesson you have to follow. You cannot effectively learn CSS or JavaScript without first understanding HTML, because both technologies work together with HTML. So this is the reason why HTML is the foundation. Finally, HTML is beginner friendly. Means if you are a beginner, it is very friendly for you. It is easy for you. HTML uses simple and readable tags. Their tag is simple and it is readable, that are easy to understand. So that is why HTML is usually the first technology recommended for anyone who wants to become a web developer. Now let's see how HTML it works. Basic web structure idea. Now let's see how HTML works. The process is actually very simple. First, you create HTML file. Inside this file, you write your code using HTML tag. Second, web browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, Edge read that HTML file. The browser displays the web page on your screen. Think of it this way. HTML is like a recipe. The browser is like a chef. The chef reads the recipe and prepare the final dish. In the same way, the browser reads your HTML code and turn it into the web page that you see. Without the browser, the HTML code would remain just plain text. So, the web browser, it is used to read the HTML file. And without that web browser, you can't see the result of HTML file as the web page. It will still remain to be the plain text. Okay, now let's see the code. Basic HTML example. Every web HTML page follows basic structure. The first line, it is doc type HTML. This doc type HTML, it tells the browser that we were using HTML5. Next, we have the HTML tag. This is the container that holds the entire web page. means all web page must be included within the HTML tag. Inside it, we have the head section. So within the HTML tag, we have head section. So what that head section it does? The head section contains information about the page, such as the title shown on the browser's tab. Then we have the body section. The body contains every visitor can actually see on the web page. Means what your website will display, or the content you want to be displayed on the web page, it is defined within the body using the corresponding tags. Inside the body, we have the following. We can have heading like hello world and paragraph. This is my first web page. This is a simple structure, is the starting point of every web page you will ever create. Okay, now let's know tag. What is tag and why is it used? As the beginner, there are three important tags you must know. As we said, tag, it is used to define the element that will be displayed on the web page, and those tags commonly defined within the body of your HTML file. So, heading 1 tag. H1 tag, this creates the main heading of the web page. It is usually the largest title on the page. There are also heading 2 up to heading 6, which create smaller headings. The second is the P tag. The P stands for paragraph. This tag is used for regular text, description, and sentences. The third tag is the title tag. This tag sets the name shown on the browser tab. Although users do not see it inside the web page itself, it is very important because it identifies the web page. As we continue running HTML, you will discover many more tags, but these are three excellent starting point. Now let's navigate through the practical section preview. Now it's time to prepare for our practical session. We are going to build our very first web page. Step 1, we will open a text editor. A text editor is a simple program where we write our code. Step 2, we will write the HTML code that we have just learned. Step 3, we will save the file using the .html extension. For example, index.html. Finally, we will open the file in web browser and see our web page come to life. This is the exciting parts because you will see how few lines of HTML can become real web page. Now, as you see on your screen, we created the file which is called the index.html. Inside that file, we add doc type declaration, and you add the HTML head and body tags. Give your page a title and one heading using the H1 tag. Add one paragraph using the P tag. Save your file and open it in the browser. If everything works correctly, you should see your heading and paragraph displayed on the screen. Remember, programming is learned by doing. Do not just watch, practice along with me. Okay, congratulations, great job, keep going. You have completed your first lesson in HTML. Today you learned what HTML is, why HTML is important, how web page works, the basic structure of HTML document, and some common HTML tag. One important piece of advice: do not simply copy and paste the code. Type it yourself. Typing helps your brain remember and understand what each line of code does. In our next lesson, we will learn more HTML tags including link, image, and list, which will allow us to build even more interesting web page. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to Innovatex Hub, turn on notifications, and join me every week as we continue our journey toward becoming a confident web developer. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.